No, what you think, Fred. All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. Is it just gonna be me and you, or Eli and Zach gonna pop in?
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while, but
Every now and then we'll kind of
he was already here right away.
It kind of, well, we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah. that is-
Sorry.
Look at
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?
I see.
Welcome, Packer fans, to another edition of Open Book here on Game On Wisconsin. Got the full crew, Zach and Jen here with me, Andrew backstage. I feel like this is the first time all four of us have probably been here in at least a month. So maybe it took all four of us to get together for the Packers to get back on track. That's what I'm thinking. So we'll see. When they beat Buffalo Sunday night, it's because all four of us were here. So we'll have to remember that for the future. But guys, yeah, it's good to see you. Interesting week. I know Jen wants to talk about Packers Twitter. So let's kick it off with Jen. How your week's been through this three-game losing streak in Minnesota, surrounded by children, which, I mean, implies that it's terrible, but Minnesota children, it's got to be worse.
Yeah, I mean, like, Vikings had the bye this week, so there wasn't a lot of, football talk, obviously. With the Packers losing and the Vikings not playing. This was like the week to kind of, lessen the spread there. But I had a coworker, I think it was on Monday, who was like putting out a distress signal. I had multiple coworkers like, yo, he's looking for you. Like, he wants to know if you're okay. And I don't understand like what's going on. And I was like, I know exactly what it is. So I went up to his room and, obviously in front of the entire class, kind of gives the rundown. And he was my teacher when I was younger. So I've known him like since I was in middle school. So he's been giving me crap like my entire life. And it was kindness week last week. So he had like the orange starburst. He's like, I just want you to know that we're all going to get along here and it's okay. And just kind of giving me like, not like condescending, like it's the way he does it is goofy where it's like, I can't be mad at him for it. But yeah, I mean, I've kind of just strayed away from football the last couple of days. Zero desire to involve myself in anything. I mean,
you're missing out on you don't get this time as Packer fans very often.
Like I knew following Sunday, I was like, I don't even want to log on to social media. I don't want to do it. Like it's like so unfun for me right now to log into Twitter or anything like that I literally turned off the notifications to the app entirely. So I was like, well, I'm focusing on it. I'm busy. I work 2 jobs right now. So I'm like home at 8:00 every night. Work is busy. So luckily that's been kind of keeping me occupied. But yeah, just kind of taking care of my mental health by not logging into the Bird app, which sounds like I'm missing some fun, but stuff that isn't fun in my world. So you guys can have your fun with it, but my fun is just not even opening the app right now.
Well, I'll say that even just looking at Zach's comments should be enough fun. You don't have to look at the rest of Twitter, but yeah, you always find
that's like a normal day for Zach, though. Zach gets like the worst. Like the Packers could be on a 3-game winning streak, and Zach would still have that kind of stuff in his mentions.
I had a dude call me fucking Captain Poopy Pants. So
that's good.
Normal day.
That was by far like the worst thing I've ever been called. Like I have been to be killed. Like people have told me to kill myself in my DMs. I have had people call me like other fucking like the worst names you can imagine. But getting called Captain Poopy Pants was.
I did see that one. I saw that one because it was on your Instagram, and Instagram is a safer place for me right now. Yeah. So I did see that one because you posted it, and I just kind of laughed because.
Yeah, Zach, you're pretty brave, honestly, for being on here after that kind of abuse. I don't know how you do it.
Well, don't get me wrong. I had to go to therapy and stuff.
That makes sense. Yeah. I actually got a DM today that I had a screenshot because I ended up deleting it, but it was funny. Someone hates the fact that I like Aaron Rodgers, and for a while this guy, it says that he joined Twitter in 1969, so that's interesting. But yeah, today's message was, you're such an insufferable fucking loser, and that's no context, and I was like, damn, all right, You kind of got me there. I had no response. So yeah, but now I'm gonna call him Captain Poopy Pants to see how he responds.
Shut up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The other
Ben?
dog.
Ben doesn't really make an appearance very often. Oh, look at
Oh great. Now
Shut up.
look at that. A true fan, you know.
that is good. That is good.
Yeah.
My
Yep.
dog would never let me put a jersey on.
You
her.
do know that Lambo LeBeau is going to comment about how great of a name that is for a dog, though, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot. They share the same name.
He's going to be like new fantasy football name.
Yeah, half the league already is named after Zach's dog. So
Yeah, and Chris is gonna turn into his profile. Yep, there you go. I knew that was.
Jeez. Yeah, that's not surprising. I guess speaking of our fantasy league, we could do a quick little
Yeah,
update.
should we do a quick rundown?
Me and Zach are very comfortable, I believe, in 8th and 9th place, respectively. Well,
Yeah.
Zach,
Well, okay. Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't leave
I
out
will
that
not.
detail.
I will. And Tom Crabtree sits
Tom.
comfortably in 10th. Tom and
I somehow beat him this week. I
Makes
don't know
no
how it's
sense.
possible.
Zach, your
I-
team is disturbing to look at.
It wasn't bad. It's just I've gotten injured. I made a very stupid trade involving Damian Pierce. I should not have done that.
Yeah.
But the rules of our league is that if you beat Tom Crabtree, then he has to give you the Super Bowl ring. So
That's true. Yeah, Zach.
So,
Zach
I'm waiting
was-
for-
I'm 0-3 against Tom, so
yeah, so you're not getting anything.
Yeah.
no,
Zach
he
gets
always has his
nothing.
best game against me.
Well, Jen, I believe you're obviously better than me and Zach at the moment.
I think I'm in 6th place, but I like swept the floor with you. It was embarrassing.
Wow. Okay. Number one, I let you do that. I told you. I thought you needed a win. You're welcome. But this week,
I had the
will
best
avenge myself.
team this week. Like overperformed. It was amazing.
Exactly. So what was I supposed to do? Even if I had a good week, it wouldn't have mattered. But I had a bad week.
Exactly. So
But
get wrecked.
congratulations, Jen. Very,
Thank you.
very impressive. I hope you realize we're playing each other in the Pack-A-Day League.
I know we're playing each other again.
Yeah, you're done. I'm 12-2 in that league.
My Pack-A-Day League is just like I forgot to take out Julio last week, and I think I
played
still
against
beat Andy
someone-
somehow.
I
Like
forgot what league it was. It might have even was it you that played DeAndre Swift against me who was out, and I still lost.
no, I don't think
Might
I've
have
ever
been-
got Swift.
Might have been a different league, but either way,
I don't want to hear any of your guys' complaints. Okay,
I
I
haven't known
traded
fantasy this week.
on Thursday in my dynasty league. I traded Saquon, Terry McLaurin, and T.J. Hawkinson for Brees Hall.
No. What? Yikes. That's
For
right.
Brees Hall, and then he tears his ACL 4 days later.
That's
So-
a good one. That's a good call on your part.
So, in other words, if you are on Zach's team, watch out.
Yeah. Well, at this
Pretty
point,
much, I'm a curse. Yeah.
there's no one left on Zach's team that's even a starter in the NFL, so it doesn't even matter really.
Okay. Hold on. Shut your ass.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
like,
still going to
still
try
have-
to trade Najee Harris and his 36 yards rushing every week? But either way.
You put Devontae Adams on the trade block. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not
make
for
you offer.
Najee Harris.
I don't know what you want and what you don't want. So
Well, it actually,
I'm feeling the water. Every trade that I send is just it's like a starter. It's like a base. Like let's start there and let's build off of it. That's
yeah, no, that's fair. That is what I generally do, but it's fun to make fun of Najee because I called it from day one. But let's talk some Packers football because I feel like
No
we haven't
thanks.
yet. We
No
probably should.
thanks.
yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, Packers lose to the Commanders 23-21. Another pretty painful, weird, kind of shocking, but not really shocking loss. They had a lead, blew it again. The refs, I would say, were pretty terrible, but I would not say they lost because of the refs. But Zach, what was your initial takeaway of losing to the Washington Commanders, and did it even shock you at this point?
I mean, that,
Sorry.
Shocked someone, clearly.
I could hear that one echo through the computer.
It was good.
it
Loki
didn't.
giving
It
his
didn't.
opinion.
It didn't shock me because I mean, going into this season, I think this game was one of the games I picked the Packers to lose, if I remember, because I remember they're going into Washington, and I know Washington has a really good defense, really good pass rush. So I remember I did not have them winning in Washington. Now, I didn't know it would be under these kinds of circumstances where they're dropping 3 games in a row, 4th loss of the season. I mean, that's bad. You lose to the Commanders. You get outplayed by Taylor Heineke. This team is just all out of sorts right now, and I can't even put anything on the defense. I can't say like, oh yeah, you let Taylor Heineke do this to you. You blow assignments. I mean, because when that defense is on the field so much, I've said this so many times on this show through the weeks, like the offense and the defense, they work in unison. When one part of this game is failing and they're playing like shit, that just puts more dependency on the defense and on Joe Barry. And I don't know if they can handle that kind of dependency. Not right now, at least.
Yeah.
Not this early in the season, but when the offense is just they're constantly starting drives behind the sticks. You have the 2 Josh Nijman holding penalties, and they can't block in the running game. They're starting drives behind the sticks. That's forcing them to stray from the run because you're not going to run it on 1st and 20. You're not going to run it on what was 2nd and 16. You're not going to run the ball in those situations. So, it's causing them to get away from what their actual identity is. And I know so many people talk about what's the identity of this football team? What's their structure? What are they? It's running the football and everything starting up front from that offensive line, protecting the quarterback and allowing those downfield routes to develop that they've been killing teams on the last 2 years.
Yeah.
So Aaron Rodgers needs to stay upright. They need to lean on the running game, and they can't do that when these errors are putting them behind the sticks and they're not blocking properly. I mean, there's been miscommunications on the offensive line. There's been miscommunications on some of the pass plays when it looked like Sammy Watkins was supposed to block on that flat throw to Romeo Doubs where they turned the ball over on downs. I guess Sammy Watkins wasn't. I wasn't sure what the actual result of that play was, but either Sammy Watkins was supposed to block or he did his job and he ran his route. But either way, these are just plays that are kind of getting blown up before they even happen, and you're seeing it now in 3 straight weeks. The mental errors that are catching up to them, and it's just a mess. And there's so many little things that they need to clean up. And if they do clean up those little things, this is going to look like a different football team.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. So much of it is just mental, where it's like these guys have the physical talent. They're just putting themselves in holes before they get started, or dropping a pass, or blocking the wrong guy, or missing a block, or running the wrong route. It just seems like these mental errors that they're tripping up on that shouldn't be all that difficult to fix up throughout the season. It's just trying to get it done before it's too late. But Jen, watching this game, I mean, the way it started, where it seemed like the Packers kind of had things under control, and then the same thing where it seemed like one play, one moment in the game, and then they kind of lose that momentum and then fall flat on their face. So what were you thinking throughout that game? And obviously, I know after the game you shut away from Twitter, but what were some of your initial reactions?
Yeah, I mean, it was, it felt promising the way that they opened up. What were they up, like a 14-3 lead? Yeah. So it's it felt good to see things kind of cooking a little bit. And obviously, it's fun to see a defensive score and stuff like that. Like that felt huge for this team. And obviously there was the questionable call back that maybe could have been a momentum changer, but I thought it was good. I mean, again, this is a game I had to watch on my phone while at work, but I didn't see any offensive turnovers. Was there any? Am I wrong on that?
I do not believe so.
So it's
not on offense, no.
So it's that was promising to see. So it's I don't know what happened that shifted the gears, because that's kind of been the trend, is that, offense seems to be fine in the beginning. Something happens, some kind of turnover, whatever. And then all of a sudden they're just, they're not coming back from it. But this one, it felt promising. Things were going well. Defense was playing well. I mean, I don't even know how to pinpoint what is happening with this team, because it's just it's a little bit of everything, where it's it's not just one person or one aspect. It's, everybody takes their share in, losing these games. And I think that's what's getting frustrating is, kind of just, they're not doing the fundamentals, and, I feel less and less carries every week, where it's they need more carries, and then it's less every week. And, there's issues on special teams, and obviously guys getting hurt. And that's also a huge loss, losing Lazard when you're already down Cobb, and Watkins is playing his first game in a month. So it's that's tough. And I mean, yeah, Amari Rodgers, he had the muff on the, receiving, whatever, punt, kickoff, return, whatever it was, but then he he did find like he had a couple targets as a receiver. So it's like there's just so much happening where it's like I don't know who needs to step up.
I'm sorry about that. My ringer was should have been off, but it wasn't.
Where it's like, I mean, it was kind of nice to see him, after that special teams blunder, once again, and kind of nice to see him be able to come out and try and help the offense. So it's kind of like, maybe don't put him on special teams, at least in that position, but maybe there is ways that we can utilize him on the offense. And at this point, it's a free for all. Whatever is going to get this offense cooking, like, I don't care who it needs to be. It could be like pull up Juwan Winfrey. I really don't care at this point. Whoever is going to get the offense going. I mean, Aaron Jones ended up being the best receiver on the day. It felt like, 2 receiving touchdowns. He wasn't doing anything on the ground, but he's making the plays in the air that he needs. And I think that he should be heavily involved in both at this point because he is, like, right now, he is your best offensive weapon. So getting him the ball, like, as much as you can seems to be the choice. Like, I trust Aaron Jones with this offense. So as many times as you can get him the ball, they should. But, against a Commanders team like this, the way things just completely fell apart makes me super nervous for Buffalo. But I think I said it last week. I was like, watch, they're going to figure out a way to lose the Commanders and surprise us and beat Buffalo. I don't really know. I think
very classic.
I'm too optimistic, and it just seems still too early. They did finally fall below the 500, which is unfortunate, but it seems like the things that they need to do to win games, they seem so simple. And yet things just aren't getting fixed. Can you hear him? I'm sorry.
That's all right. This is
like raising his eyebrows, like you can hear.
Is he being murdered?
No, he's really frustrated with this team.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. Yeah,
it 100% is. He's like trying to give his opinions in there, but
yeah, no, that makes sense.
I don't really know what more to say because I feel like the last 3 weeks, it's been the same thing. Like
the same thing. That's what's so frustrating. Is that how are we sitting here saying the same thing
after the Giants game, and that's basically what it is. Like what I said after the Giants game, what I said after the Jets game, what I'm saying, like it's literally like broken record. You could just clip me in, and it'll still make sense because I feel like the things that, like the adjustments that need to be made, just aren't being made. And I don't know at this point. I don't know what the adjustments are. Is it just like?
Well,
no execution, just
Actually had an idea about some adjustments, which
I don't know if they necessarily need adjustments. They need. I think what they're missing right now is a deep threat.
Yeah, right. But I feel like some guys have actually been open, and I just don't know if Rodgers maybe doesn't trust them. Obviously he's been off target.
They did hit Amari Rodgers on the one.
Yeah, that was rough. He had him, and he should.
That's the thing, though. Like,
he didn't put enough air on it. He zipped it a little bit too hard, I think.
Like, even with no Cobb, even with no Lazard, they're not like your usual deep threat guy. Like, you had MVS last year.
Yeah, right now there's no one on the team. Technically Sammy Watkins, but he is not healthy enough. And
Sammy Watkins, I don't know if I can see him.
If you're relying on ninth year veteran Sammy Watkins to be your deep threat, then you're fucked.
Yeah, but that was what they went into the season with. That's all they had.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they drafted Christian Watson. He's supposed to be that speedster that's able to stretch the field, but now he has re-aggravated hamstring injuries. But and at times last year and the year before that, in games where they didn't have MVS, that completely wipes away a huge component to their offense. Like when you don't have a guy that can stretch the field and stress those safeties, they don't have a reason to fear over the top, getting beat over the top. They can crash down, and we saw the Commanders. Do stuff like that. They were playing down on these receivers. They didn't have scared of getting beat. They were playing too high. They didn't blitz. They trusted their 4-man rush, and they were able to just lock down the secondary. Aaron Rodgers. The focus was getting the ball out of his hands quickly. I know he has the thumb issue, but there was nothing available downfield. 27 of his 35 pass attempts were either behind the line of scrimmage or within 9 yards. And you're not going to win football games that way. They need a guy that can stretch the field. And that's why they have Christian Watson. He just needs to get healthy. And I think this offense is going to not evolve, but it's going to take a step in the right direction. They're going to be able to hit some of these other plays as long as they clean up the mental errors, of course.
Do you think is Dobbs somebody that they could use in that role.
I mean,
He's
he was a big threat at college.
At this point, like, why not try it and just see?
It seems more likely than Watson, considering Watson, he got the first target of the season, and then every time he got targeted or touched the ball was a jet sweep or a screen or something at the line of scrimmage.
If Watson is hurt, like, why not try and throw Dobbs a couple and just kind of see what he can do downfield?
He's attempted to throw it deep to Dobbs a few times. It just never connected. But Watson, I have no idea why after one play to start the season, literally we didn't see him take one shot to Watson the next, 3-4 games till he got hurt, which to me is just not utilizing his skill. But whatever, we'll wait till he gets back to see how that progresses throughout the season. But yeah, there's no doubt having a deep threat in this offense, it makes a big impact. Last year, I think they scored, I think it was like 4.5 or 6.5 more points when MBS played. So it matters. But real quick, just because I know Zach has to head out a bit earlier tonight, so let's jump to this Buffalo game and get all of our quick thoughts out, and then Zach can run, and then if there's anything left to finish up, me and Jen will get to it. Zach, why don't you kick us off then, so you can go heading into Buffalo? Do you see any way the Packers pull off a miracle and come out with a win, or at the very least not get absolutely embarrassed?
You know, the Bills are coming off of a bye week, and yeah, they're 5-1. They're looking great. They're coming off of a bye week, and with things like that, it can either be a really good thing or it can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing in the sense that they're well rested and they've solidified their game plan coming into this game. They know exactly what they're going to do, know exactly how they're going to attack the Packers. Or it could be a bad thing. Maybe they get too much rest. Maybe they're too well rested. You know, we've seen it with the Packers going into the playoffs when they get that first round bye.
I have no memory of that.
Oh, do you want me to run through some of the games?
Nothing good, actually. Thank you.
So I think in this case, I don't know which one it's going to be, but I feel like this is the kind of game the Packers end up winning. And I've already told my coworkers I think the Packers win this game. So like I'm already on the books. Like I've already talked my shit. Like they know what I'm thinking. So I feel like they go into Buffalo in prime time when everybody counts them out. No one is expecting anything, expecting them to look like shit. And I think they win this game. And it just feels like a very, very Packers-y game to win. You know, and Aaron Rodgers even said himself that this could be, you know, the adversity of this being the underdogs. It could be the best thing for this team, you know, being stressed like this, going into this game when everyone's counting them out. So I think the Packers win. I'm not going to predict the final score because I'm not that stupid, but I think the Packers win this game.
All right. Well,
I mean, I think like, you know, maybe they're the kind of team that's going to, you know, be better as the underdog and be better under that kind of pressure. I mean, the last 3 weeks they were anticipated to win. And now that, what was I reading, for the first time, like ever in Aaron Rodgers' career, whatever it is, like he's a multi-point spread or something.
Double-digit underdog, yeah.
Like, so who knows? I mean, four losses in a row just seems.
I think we did that on 2016, right? Before running the table. Is that what we did?
Yes.
4 losses or something like that. I don't know.
Right. If it means running the table, I'll take another loss on Sunday. Just saying.
I think I'm too optimistic to say they lose 4 in a row, but I'm also naive and I have a lot of hope in this team and they continue to make me look like an idiot. So I'm probably going to think that good things are going to happen. And come Monday, I will be dragging my feet at work. So we'll see.
Why do we all have, like, because I also kind of have this feeling, but I kind of don't even want to say it. But it is weird that it feels so classic the Packers would lose to Washington and then beat Buffalo. And there's also a good chance they just go and lose. And that would probably be less surprising. But somehow I think we all kind of just have this feeling, just when you get to know the Packers well enough over years, you just get this feeling that this would be a game they win. So you never know. That would be fun. I mean, I'll join Zach and Jen and take them with a W. We might all look stupid or we'll all look very smart.
At least we all look stupid or smart together.
Yeah. Open book, rides and dies together.
I mean, what do we have to lose at this point? If they lose, they lose. And hey, we're used to it at this point, right?
Yeah.
If they win, then
we've all gone 3 weeks in a row being wrong. We could take another one. Fine, but yeah, Zach, I don't want you to be late for your very important night, which we'll just keep off the books. Everyone watching, you have no idea the excitement going on here. But
You make it sound like I'm picking up fucking drugs or something.
yeah, Zach is a professional drug picker upper. You all heard it here first.
Yep, that's what I do.
How
But yeah,
unprofessional. Be better.
yeah, Zach, get it together. Or me, who's professional?
Sorry.
Yeah, unbelievable. Kids watch this show. But
That's
yeah,
a problem. That's a big problem that they watch this
I
show.
know. Well, my nieces and nephews watch it, and now they all know.
Yeah, but your nephew is like 20-something years old.
Yeah, well, the older ones don't. It's only the younger ones, so it's bad. But yeah, before we head out, everyone, at the bottom of the screen, you see.
Are we all heading out?
Wait, you guys are all leaving?
Oh, sorry, Zach. Yeah, my bad. I got into the routine. Yeah, Zach.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, are we done?
All right.
Like,
No,
All right.
All right, Zach.
All right.
Enjoy.
Bye, everybody.
enjoy your dinner. See ya.
Thanks. Bye.
Now that Zach is, Zach's looking. They're saying I should have followed him.
Yeah, it asked me if I wanted to stay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it asked me if I wanted to stay before I left. So now I'm gonna stay right fucking here.
Okay, good. Zach, stay, and when you leave, I'll put your name back up so we can talk crap about your.
I know what you're gonna do. You're gonna put up Captain Poopy Pants
I
or
was
whatever.
Ooh, yeah. Someone
Yeah.
has to type that up.
Oh well, yeah, whatever. I'm out of here. I
like
quit.
find Captain Poopy Pants on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a Twitter page, Captain Poopy Pants, and just put up a picture of either a dog or Zach's hair, one of the two. Either way, it'll be
Just
good.
his hair.
Yeah, just his hair, and everyone will know that he's Captain Poopy Pants. But
Fantastic.
yeah, so
now that we both have kind of spewed our optimism, which is maybe another reason why I don't feel like going to, Twitter, because I still have like this sense of hope and like love for my team that I think that they'll be able to do something special on Sunday.
I'm not ready to give
prime
up.
time. Like, I don't know. It just like
No,
I know everybody's down on him, whatever, but I mean,
No, the only thing with Packers Twitter now, look, it's not fun, obviously, but after a while, you learn to.
okay, I'm sorry, like everybody that's saying like bench Aaron Rodgers, you're asking to just. I mean, not that I like don't think that Love will do well, but if Rodgers is not winning these games, I don't see how Love can win those games, because having Love in does not change the O-line. It does not change who the receivers are. It does not change. Special teams issues. It does not change, defense getting burnt, because they're like, the defense is on the field a lot more than what they should be, but there are still inexcusable things happening on that defense that even if that offense is on the field for longer, like there's still things that are happening. Like Packers had a good offensive drive this last week, and then it's still, I feel like Jair getting burnt, on the last plays that were happening against Terry McLaughlin, or however you say his name. It's like those are things that just they seem uncharacteristic.
It was a bad performance, especially. I mean, it's one thing against the Giants and the Jets. You could say they're up and coming offenses. There is some talent there. Both of those teams have actually played very well this year. But Washington, there's really no excuse. Yes, Terry McLaurin is a talented receiver, but he shouldn't have done what he did. And you shouldn't make Taylor Heineke, outside of essentially the first 5 minutes of the game, he was hitting every throw he made.
I was honestly kind of worried about, I would have wanted Carson Wentz in this.
Yeah, I would have preferred it. I hate switching quarterbacks.
Heineke, we saw him last year. I like him, which is kind of sucks. He's fun for me to watch. He's just, he's a backup who goes in there and, blows things out of the water, and he's fun to watch. So I was honestly kind of a little bit more nervous when I knew that it was him that was going to be coming in and filling in. But I mean, there's so much more that needs to happen than just, benching Aaron Rodgers. I hope that the people that talk about wanting to bench him, you're either asking to forfeit the entire season, or people who want him traded. There's still money involved. If you can't trade him.
No, it's just people who want to see something happen and something crazy happen. But there's no way anyone can.
I still want to win games.
Yeah,
we need Aaron Rodgers in there at quarterback to win those games.
Yeah, there's no logical way to actually make the argument that this team has a better chance to win with Jordan Love, and that's not trying to criticize Jordan.
No,
Love.
Jordan
Aaron
Love actually,
Rodgers-
like, he had that good game in Kansas City last year, and it was fun to
Yeah.
watch him. But I
No,
think where the team is at right now, I would almost feel bad for him too, because it would almost seem like a scapegoat too. If you like, this is just, obviously this isn't going to be what's happening. Obviously, Rodgers isn't going to get benched for Jordan Love, but
get that for Brett Favre now. You never know.
it's just I would feel bad putting Jordan Love into that position too, where you're kind of saying, like, the team is failing, so now we're going to use you.
Yeah, but also, I mean, look, obviously
there's no winning in that. Obviously this is just a lot of talk, and it's kind of another reason why I don't want to throw myself in those conversations in social media. But I mean,
no, I mean, I definitely,
it would be fun. It would be absolutely wild if all of a sudden Jordan Love comes in and this team turns it around. Like, it would be insane, and it would act like, it would be fun. This is my team. I want to see them win.
Yeah, that's
like whatever you gotta do to win. But the people who just out of spite are saying, like, put him in.
That's what it is.
Like,
it's a lot of spite and people that are frustrated, and I get it. I think we're all frustrated, but going and saying, bench Rodgers or trade Rodgers or fire LaFleur, like,
nobody's getting fired. Like, Joe Barry's staying, Matt LaFleur is staying, Rodgers is staying. Like,
so like anyone who thinks the Packers are gonna break what they do. I mean, yes, they fired McCarthy in the middle of the year, which was very uncharacteristic for them. But Matt LaFleur is.
That was at the end of the season. Like, it was closer to the end.
Yeah, I mean, they're already eliminated.
We already knew the situation. Like, the playoffs were already kind of out of the conversation at that point.
Yeah, no, I think they got eliminated. I think when they lost that game to Arizona, actually, no, they didn't get eliminated that day, but they were essentially eliminated. But
it was close enough to.
Yeah, it was close enough where, and also, I mean, Arizona was so damn bad that losing that game was just inexcusable. But yeah, look, no one's getting fired. Aaron Rodgers isn't getting benched. So while there is a lot of that talk on Packers Twitter because people like to say outlandish things, that's not really even anything that's registering in my head. It's more honestly just frustrating to see, because the stuff that I believe is sort of true is what's more frustrating than the crazy outlandish stuff like that. But when you go and look what the Eagles just did, trading for Robert Quinn, or what you see the Cardinals did with, Robbie Anderson, maybe not the greatest player, but Hollywood Brown went down, they traded for Robbie Anderson. The Jets lose Breece Hall, trade for James Robinson. The Packers lost Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins went down, Christian Watson went down, Allen Lazard is now hurt. I don't think a receiver is going to walk off the streets and change this whole team. But like you said, they could use a deep threat. They could use someone that Rodgers can feel a little bit more.
I didn't think that until now. You have, obviously, like, half of your receiving core is banged up.
Yeah, no, you have Lazard.
Lazard was that one. Like, I don't know if it's the answer, but it could be an answer at this point, because now you don't have Cobb, and Lazard obviously went out of the game, and Watkins is coming back from injury, and Watson is still, he's got the hamstring injury. So you're kind of relying on basically, Dobbs and, Watkins coming in. But you're running out of receivers, Amari Rodgers. So there could be an opportunity, but it's also, I never get my hopes up about the Packers doing anything in those situations.
Yeah.
Maybe pull up Juwan Winfrey for some games and just see what
you're going to have to. I mean, if Lazard doesn't play, I would expect.
Winfrey has shown flashes, so I'm not saying that he's going to be the deep target threat anyways, but I mean, he's just another body who, not there's defenses who might not know as much about him. He's kind of he could be a question mark going to those games for teams like that.
No, I mean, like you said, he's shown flashes in preseason and training camp, and even last year against Arizona, he had a few catches that were a few impressive catches, actually. But yeah, if Lazard doesn't play, which is seeming more and more possible, I would expect Winfrey to get activated. And just real quick, once you bring up all these injuries, I just wanted to hit today's injury report because it's a pretty long one with some important names. But Rashawn Gary, Aaron Rodgers, Allen Lazard, Elton Jenkins, and Shamar Jean-Charles all missed practice today. The only one on that list, I think that's legitimately concerning, is Lazard, as we were saying. But some good news is Christian Watson returned to practice on a limited basis. as did David Bakhtiari, and Sammy Watkins was out there on a limited basis. So
You know how you fix
hopefully-
that though with the receivers? Run the ball.
yeah, that doesn't say that. Another good way.
Aaron Jones.
Yeah, another good way to not worry about your receivers all day is giving your top 5 running back the amount of carries he deserves. I think this week he got 8. The last 2 weeks he got like 11 and 9, whatever it was. I mean,
He was targeted a
yeah, he
lot
was targeted.
here, which was nice. But like I said earlier, do both.
Yeah, do both. There's no reason it can't be both. I don't see there should never be a game that Aaron Jones sees realistically, and this is on a very light side, which is 15 carries, but I would say more like 18 to 20 carries, and not touches, carries, and then whatever catches he gets, that's on top of it. But he's so damn good. There's no excuse not to play him. It drives me nuts. We say it every week on the show about running the ball. So, like you said before, we could just repeat the Giants and the Jets post game because it's the same thing. You got to run the ball. You have to stop making errors on special teams, stop making mental errors in general throughout the whole game. Yeah, it's just like you said, there's so many things to look at. Like last year, I feel like it was so easy to look at special teams, say they were awful. And that was kind of like the immediates, like, this is why this game got messed up. Or this
Special teams was the scapegoat last year, and now they can't be the scapegoat because everybody is bad.
Exactly.
Like, there's like 3 people on this team, like Mason Crosby, Pat O'Donnell, and Aaron Jones are like the only people that like I'm not frustrated with right now.
Yeah,
and Rashawn Gary.
Yeah, Rashawn Gary's been pretty incredible.
You know, he went out during that game too, which was unfortunate to see. But yeah, 4 guys who genuinely haven't irritated me at this year.
Yeah, so there's a lot to look around on this team. So yeah, like we were both saying and Zach said earlier, I don't think there's any one quick, easy fix. I don't know if signing or trading for receivers a quick, easy fix either. There's a lot they need to do, and I think also a lot of it starts with the coaching. I just think, and not even so much coaching, but just like the message the coaches are sending. It just seems like this team doesn't have a lot of energy. They seem to get out of sorts the second things don't go their way, which obviously is happening more and more in games right now.
If you can't learn to overcome adversity, you will lose basically every game.
Yeah,
every game you're gonna face adversity. Like you're not gonna be perfect. Things are gonna happen, and you're gonna have to learn how to bounce back. And if you can't do that, you are going to dig your hole, dig your grave every week, and it's just gonna be a really unfortunately long season. So if they cannot learn to let things go or figure out the adjustment or whatever they need to do, I mean, at this point they're beating themselves because obviously like they're putting together enough to be in these games, but they're not doing enough to be able to finish them. And that's them beating themselves.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, when you have to play one team, like you're playing 2 teams at that point.
Yeah, you're playing with your opponent and yourself.
Tough.
Yeah, no, right now they really are. I mean, it seems like for sure this week, and you can argue a lot of the last 3 weeks, it's been them beating themselves just as much as the other team beating them. So again, I think a lot of that comes back to coaching, leadership, just guys getting more energy, overcoming, like you said, it's not going to be perfect, whether there's a turnover or a drop pass or a missed block, whatever it's going to be, a missed tackle. You have to come out and, like you said, there's short-term memory. That play never happened. Move on to the next one because you're not going to be perfect. And right now you're sitting at 3-4. Perfect is out the window. At this point, you got to scrape together a win however you can, whoever you're playing. No expectations. We're playing Washington. We should win. We're playing Buffalo. Who knows? No. Every week you have to have the same mindset. Go in, do everything you can to win no matter who you're playing, and hope to turn the season around. But that all starts, obviously, this Sunday night definitely the biggest game, I think, of the season, not only because of the opponent, but sitting at 3-4, you really can't go to 3-5. And winning this game is going to be very hard. I mean, we all kind of said what we were feeling earlier before Zach left, but Jen, just maybe go into a little more detail before this game. If, going with what you said earlier, with some expectation or optimism, I should say, that the Packers can pull out a win, what is giving you that optimism outside of this feeling we all kind of have? Any specific on offense, specific on defense, coaching, special teams? What do you think they could change to get this win?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it just comes from mentality. I know there's like a lot of things that these guys say, and you still see videos of guys having fun at practice. So it's not like the fun and like the love of football isn't still there, but it's just like connecting confidence and execution. Like we know that we know what this team is capable of because there hasn't been too much turnover since last year, and last year's team was obviously successful up until I mean, not all the way successful, but they still had a pretty good season given everything considered. So I mean, even at this point, I'm optimistic that this is going to be like a turning. I'm hoping that this is kind of a turning point game. Either it's like I'm hoping even if it's not a win, it's a pretty loss where it's like the excitement is there, like just kind of guys loving the game again, fundamentals. I say it every week, but it's just like the basic fundamentals. And I've said this, we talk about Rodgers needing a deep threat, but just find ways to get downs. Like it doesn't have to be anything special. If you need to throw, 8-yard crossing routes, I don't care. Give the ball to and mix it up, give the ball to Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon and just finding ways to execute. Obviously, you don't have your third down guy, Randall Cobb, so you're going to have to get creative and find ways. And everybody needs to do their part in a game like this against Buffalo. Offensive line is going to need to hold their own, reduce penalties, kind of give Rodgers that extra second to hopefully find someone and be able to, hit them. Because obviously Rodgers not playing his best ball either. Just another aspect, which, it's not like he is the worst. Like, I've seen worse quarterbacks, obviously, but for someone of Aaron Rodgers' stature, it's obviously frustrating because we know what he can do. So if he can kind of get back to playing like Aaron Rodgers, that's huge. And then if receivers, maybe things just start to click. If the offensive line starts to click, then Aaron Rodgers starts to click, and then the receivers start to click, and then you add in your run game. And I think it's just kind of, it's been a domino effect, it feels like, where it's like one thing isn't working and it causes everything else to fail. And that's just kind of how things go on the sidelines too. Like you got to be in that mentality of, okay, we're going to be positive and we're going to figure out what's going on. And I get being frustrated because that's how I am. And I understand, like, when people get upset about seeing guys frustrated, I get that because I'm that kind of person. But you also have to be able to pull yourself out of that and figure out, okay, I'm frustrated because I know we're better than this. Now, what can we do to be better? And, sometimes things just aren't going to work. And that's how it is. Sometimes you just get outplayed or outcoached. But, figure out what you need to do to not be on the losing end of those things. Figure out a way to outcoach someone. Figure out a way to outplay guys, figure out the film. Like, this isn't a team that is going to take it lightly, but there's also ways you can figure out how to overcome that because, any given Sunday, any team is beatable. And if you can go in there with the right mindset and, just confident that you're going to execute on your plays. Like, I don't know if it's just a lack of confidence that's causing lack of execution or what's going on in their minds, because there are so many talented competitors on this team that I don't know what's happening where they can't put that together into their game. And obviously, like, you can't have 2 guys on the offense who are clicking and like 3 guys on the defense. It's going to take everybody, when one person, like, you're only as good as your weakest link. Yeah. And right now, there's a lot of rusty, weak links that are like about to snap. We got to figure out how to fix that and get everything to connect again. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm an optimistic person. I love this team. I believe that there's ways to turn this around. They're just not doing it. And I don't know at this point what is this, like, there's no singular thing. It's just, it's, maybe one good thing happens and then it leads to something else. And then another thing, which I thought was going to happen against the Commanders with the Devondre Campbell touchdown. I thought that was like going to be a huge turning point. Things are going to be great.
It really should have been, because we had the scoop and score fumble touchdown. It should have counted. And that play would have ended the game. It would have been 21-3. The momentum.
I mean, maybe it was the Douglas thing getting taken back that just kind of knocked him down a peg.
But that's another thing we were just talking about. You can't let one missed call end your game. That's just ridiculous.
Well, and you also, when things are not going well, I mean, obviously the Eric Stokes thing, like the whole personal foul thing that basically led to like a 40-yard play for the Commanders. do not let them get in your head either. You know,
Yeah,
understand.
that
I
was
don't know if
yeah.
something was said. Like whatever you do, stay calm. You know, understand that they're probably gonna do stuff that's gonna try and discipline.
Yeah.
Like you have to be disciplined in those situations because when there's moments that you could be, you know, things could be turning around and you do something like that, it's again just shooting yourself in the foot, and it's really hard to come back from those kinds of things. And then when players start doing that, like I said, it creates that domino effect where it's like, okay, now you've got this one guy who is causing who just like
Well, that was the Giants in
in
the
it.
second half, where there was just penalty after penalty, and that's kind of what started them falling apart in the second half. And they did it again against Washington. So kind of like what you were saying, and that's really what I was going to say. Like my X factor for this game was going to essentially be kind of the coaching and just the general, like overall, kind of like we're seeing here, these mistakes, but these mental errors, really mostly like just cleaning it up. Go into this game. Again, like you did versus Washington, which was good. Don't turn the ball over. Well, actually, they did turn it over with the muffed punt, but don't turn the ball over. You know, don't have somebody drop. I think between the last 2 weeks, they're close to 10 drop passes. That's just ridiculous. Like there are just plays that shouldn't be happening. Like you just said, the flag on Stokes. Personal fouls after the play are the most avoidable penalties in the NFL. There's never a reason to take a 15-yard penalty after the whistle. There's no excuse for it. Yeah. So I get it. The guy got in your face. You don't go and slap someone in the helmet on the sideline after the play.
It's almost like they're trying to draw that. Like they see that you're frustrated.
Exactly. I would yell at defenders too, hoping just to get some little shove or a slap, and you go and flop, and boom, there's 15 yards. So it's just coaching and like Matthew said, being more disciplined and just not shooting yourself in the foot. It really there's no easy recipe of going into Buffalo and getting a win. Whether you're 3-4, 6-0, it doesn't make a difference. Like it's not going to be an easy game no matter what. So the best thing you can do is not shoot yourself in the foot and make it even harder on yourself. So essentially what I would say is just get out of your own way and focus on beating the Bills and not worry about beating yourself and the Bills would be what I hope to see out of the Packers this Sunday. But again, just to touch on the injury report, it seems like really everyone should hopefully play except for maybe Lazard, which obviously would be a big piece to be missing. But I think that should wrap us up for this week. All of us are feeling pretty good about this Bills game. Maybe we're being too optimistic, but
I think it's like, I don't know if feeling good is the right thing. I'm just feeling optimistic that the Packers, coming off of 3 losses, maybe will finally have found something within themselves that says, hey, we are better than this. Now let's make sure we show everyone that we are not, like, we don't want to be the laughing stock of the league, but we are going to continue to be. And guys are going to continue to wear cheese heads in their locker room celebrating our loss.
By the way, that should be the biggest disrespect
use
to them.
Things like, you are now an underdog. Now go in there and show everybody, like, hey, we are a lot better than what we have shown, and we know it, and now we need to let you know it. Because otherwise, like, if they continue playing the way they're playing, there's really going to be no answers. And that's maybe they're just a bad team at that point. Maybe we're going to run out of excuses. But, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. But every team is beatable on every given Sunday.
There you go. Any given Sunday, as they say. But, Sunday Night Football, Packers, Bills. No matter what happens, I definitely expect a pretty exciting and wild game. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. It should be fun. Obviously, I'm sure everyone watching tonight will be watching on Sunday night. And before we head out, as always, make sure to follow Game On Wisconsin at Game On WI. Subscribe on YouTube at Game On Wisconsin. And then you can find our wonderful producer, Andrew, on Twitter at Mertens_Andrew. I will give Zach a little more time to shine here at It's Zachary J. Make sure to follow him for all Packers breaking news. Jen at BigMac_4. Let's hope for Jen return to Twitter this week with a Packers win. And myself at Book of Eli _NFL. I've also been a little bit absent from Twitter. It's all these weird opponents. I don't have my usual folder of videos for maybe the Bills game that I would for other games. But
I like Matt's comment there. Kenny Clark more handsome than Josh Allen, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubting that.
And Josh Allen is gonna see that firsthand when he has Kenny Clark right in his face.
And Josh Allen's watching right now. He actually texted me before the show, so he's pretty hurt over that comment. Thank you for that, Matt.
If you knock him down, debunk his confidence. Now he's going to be like, oh man, there's that guy lined up against me.
The second he sees 97, he's going to get super insecure about his looks and like his hair and all that. He's going to freak out.
Maybe when Packers Twitter quits being such a toxic hellhole.
There you go. Everyone in the comments and everyone watching at home, if you've been toxic, you are single-handedly keeping Jen on Twitter, which is just selfish. So stop it. But yeah, everyone, we will see you next Wednesday. Let's hope at 4-4. Can't believe that midway through the season, this is what we're talking about.
I predicted we'd be 13-4. I just didn't think we'd get all 4 losses in the first 7 weeks.
Like I said, we're going to run the table now. Perfect. But all right, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. Have a good one.
What you think, Fred? All right.
Fred.
Like, dude, you're an idiot.
I'm doing very well, Jen. It's just gonna be me and you, or Eli and Zach gonna pop in.
Yeah, they'll talk every once in a while.
Every now and then we'll kind of.
He was already right away.
It kind of we're used to you attacking us, so.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Let's just put it this way. Who do you see as the quarterback week 1 for the Green Bay Packers?